Hey friends, welcome back to New Earth Energetics. Today I decided to do a video on spiritual bypassing and what that is exactly. So, in essence, spiritual bypassing is when you are ignoring your stress, you're ignoring your pain, your trauma. Basically, you're ignoring your inner child. Your inner child is basically the culmination of all of the pain or stress or trauma, the dramas you went through as a child, all the way up to this present moment in time. Inner child, inner teenager. It's all stored and it was repressed and suppressed in your body until you had the conscious awareness in order to deal with it, in order to integrate it into your field. So most people, which it is the mercy of the universe, that they don't even realize like how much pain they are in. Some people aren't even aware of their shadow or like traumatic events that have happened. Sometimes they have to go through like hypnosis to even like bring it up, because it could have been such a traumatic event that it was shoved so deep, like it doesn't even come into the conscious mind. It's just stored in the subconscious. So basically, a lot of teachers, especially New Age, and I have fallen victim to to these teachings that are about spiritual bypassing, where basically a negative emotion arises. And you're taught to, okay, put a sticker over that, make it shiny, throw some glitter on it. So basically, like, okay, I feel really crappy right now. I'm gonna tell myself I feel really good. Even though I am in so much pain, my inner child is begging for my love and attention, I'm going to turn my back to it and I'm going to go just think happy thoughts. And that sounds good in theory. It really does. It does. And all you're doing, though, is you're putting on like a really pretty smiley face Band-Aid on your boo-boo. And it doesn't really heal it. I mean, like with physical scratches or scrapes or whatever, you can put a Band-Aid on it, it heals. That's not how this works. Like, you're just covering up. Like, it's just covering it up, but it's going to come back, and it usually comes back with more force and fierceness. And I'm only speaking from my experience, okay? So I probably practiced that for a couple months, where I was just overriding my negativity with positivity. And there is a truth to this, that yeah, we do need to change the way we think, because that actually changes our neural pathways. There is a point to this, but it doesn't mean that we also ignore the pain. So yes, change your thoughts to more positive. If a negative thought comes in saying like, I'm ugly, I'm never succeeding, I can't do this, then yeah, go ahead and be like, no, I can do this, we can do this, you are awesome, you are amazing. Override that. Yes, it is a good teaching, but it's not a good teaching when you're ignoring and suppressing pain that arises for you to heal. So yes, it's a good teaching, but use it in tandem with healing the inner child. Shadow work, okay? Those New Age teachers are gonna say, "Oh, I've never met a happy shadow worker." Well, you have to do like the work. You have to see these parts of yourself that need your love and your affection. Because if not, you're just suppressing, storing, and it's just culminating to this bigger ball of fury. So what can you do instead of spiritually bypassing? You can love whatever arises in your field. I was taught this by Matt Kahn. I will put in the bio, not the bio, sorry, in the description box below, his resources, his YouTube and his online page that you can find. He wrote the book Whatever Arises, Love That, and he has the divine feminine approach of healing. So your mind, your brain is masculine by nature. Your heart is where the divine feminine resides. We live in a universe of archetypes and polarity and duality, so this is just of explaining. So some of us were born here with more masculine energy, which is we're more logical, we're thinking, we're pushing through, no pain, no gain kind of attitude. And then some of us are born with more of that feminine energy in us, which is the being, the slowing down, the nurturing, the nourishing, the really stopping and smelling the roses. And enjoying and basking. That's the feminine energy. And so what we're doing in ascension and enlightenment and awakening here on Gaia is we are merging the masculine and the feminine, and we're weaving it and integrating it to oneness. That's what we're doing here. So we're taking all of our fractal aspects and we're merging it back into unity, back into oneness. That's what we're doing here as an enlightenment, as an ascension, is bringing the fragments to wholeness, the shadow of the ego and the grandiose side of ego back to oneness. So anytime a negative emotion arises in your body, if you're triggered, maybe you're not triggered, memories start flashing through, whatever it is, you have to be the biggest supporter to yourself that no one ever was to you. So basically, you become the parent to your emotional body. And you're like your number one fan. You are your number one fan, and that's how you get rid of victimhood. That's how you bring your power back, and that's how you integrate and heal the inner child. There's so many teachings out there about clear your chakras, eat these foods, stand on your yoga, do a handstand for 10 days, do this asana, read this book, do that, do this. But really, guys, love is the highest vibration in existence. So if you have found love, if you have found this video, then that's the highest vibration. It's love. Love is the highest vibration. So if all you do is align with love, and if you can be courageous and bold enough to sit with yourself on the darkest, shittiest days and still be like, hey girl, hey dude, we got this, you got this. We might be going through adversity right now, but on the other side of this adversity is growth. That's what evolution is. There's a cycling. So you're going to reach a peak and you integrate that, right? And you embody it, and then there's another cycle comes through and you just keep leveling up. Think about like when you play Mario, right? Might not be the best example, but you play Mario, right? You start at the beginner and you level up and you level up and you level up. So that's what this is. Just because, and even with enlightenment, like a lot of people think, or awakening, like, oh, you reach this like steady sense of bliss, and to some degree, yeah, you do, but emotions still come and go. You just have a better relationship with them. You see it for what they are, and yeah, there will come a time when thoughts just are gone. You don't have thoughts anymore, and you're strictly operating from the heart center. Like you feel it's almost like like clairvoyant or audient, that type of thing. Like you just know what to do. It's not this thinking like, oh, I should do this because of this, a list and all of that. That's the ego. It's just this feeling, this knowing. You're operating from the heart center. It feels, you know what's right based on how it feels in your body, how it feels in your heart center versus the thinking mind telling you, no, you should do this, no, you should do that. No, we're not going to do that. And all due respect to the ego, because we are not getting rid of the ego. We're not transcending the ego. We're integrating the ego, because we couldn't live on earth. We could not be human and have this experiment without our ego. So we are training the ego for divine will. We're integrating the ego in with our higher selves, okay? And it is basically, it's practice. We're practicing, and we're schooling and parenting our lower selves, the baseline ego, and training it for divine will, for love, for unity, for peace, and for compassion. That's what we're doing here. So, in essence, guys, I try to keep this video short. That is the sum of spiritual bypassing and what you can do to handle that. Instead of ignoring yourself, instead of pushing yourself away, instead of hating yourself and just looking at yourself under a microscope, which is really common in the spiritual path. We tend to put ourselves under a microscope and looking at everything that is wrong. What needs to be cleared next? What do I need to heal next? What, this, and this. If we just love ourselves, despite what goes on in our reality, be our number one supporter, compliment the holy crap out of ourselves and others, bless ourselves, bless others, we will see transformation within ourselves. We really will. But we have to be kind to ourselves, and we really have to flow. We have to slow down, and we have to trust in the process that everything that's coming into our reality is here to help us into evolving consciousness. And that is not here to, get in our way. Everything really is here to help us grow and evolve in consciousness. It might seem like it's a burden and a pain in the ass when it's happening, but that's just our ego getting irritated because we want to control and have everything our way, right? So know that it would not be put in your path if it wasn't here to help you grow. We just have to see the blessing and the gift within that teaching, because everything and everyone is our teacher. Everyone and everything is our teacher. And when we can see that, then things change. So don't stop thinking positively. Don't stop any of those kind of things, but just merge it together with supporting yourself, loving yourself, and not ignoring your shadow side, okay? Because look at our world. Our inner states are reflected out collectively and individually. So we're not going to get rid of the shadow out there by ignoring our shadow inside. We're not going to get rid of the hate, war, and conflict out there by ignoring the hate, conflict within inside of us. So in order to amend and void and unify all that's out there, we must unify and heal and become oneness and return back to love inside and then outside. Okay, but it's not just one individual that's going to do this. It has to happen on a collective level for us to see it collectively. So yeah, I might be here and having new earth experiences and having good days where bliss is happening, beautiful birds, beautiful experiences that it's just pure new earth. But then there's going to be people outside that are still having, these 3D shitty shadowy experiences. So one person can start that ripple effect, but we all have to integrate and look at our shadow side together for Gaia and everyone to really be experiencing this beauty. So you don't want just enlightenment to stop at yourself and just let everyone else just go to hell in a handbasket or whatever. No, we're here to do this collectively. We're here to do this together because we're going from a me consciousness, which is ego-based, into a we consciousness, which is unity consciousness, which is Christ consciousness. And that's what humanity is evolving into. So, and I invite you, friends, to look at all of your emotions as sacred. Look at all of your emotions as a stepping stone. And know that the darkness, if you will, is not... It's God too. It's divinity too. In its most dormant state. It just doesn't know who it is. What it is, if you will. So, and we were all unconscious at one time. So if we have empathy and sympathy for others that aren't awake right now, because it can be frustrating when you're awake and people around you are not, and they're living out unconscious realities or projecting onto you. But we're here as sovereign beings, as way showers, as forerunners, to show humanity what is possible through the power of love, through the power of acceptance, through the power of forgiveness with yourself and with others. So if you can accomplish and master it within your own physical body, your own energy field, then you can do it externally. Nothing's going to faze you. Nothing's going to touch you because you're awake in the stream. You know what's going on. And just because we think this is an illusion or it's, there's only oneness here, if you will, that does not mean we reject the body. So thinking just everything's oneness, that's very masculine. And we're coming back into the body. We're appreciating our bodies. We're loving our bodies, and we're respecting form. So yeah, there's only one. There's oneness. But that doesn't mean we disrespect this play. That does not mean that we don't go full out and be just these hardcore, amazing, love badasses here to help raise the consciousness on Gaia. So even though this may be an illusion, this might be a movie, and that in the end all is well, it doesn't mean we don't go full out into our characters and fully be courageous and vulnerable and love the holy crap out of everyone and everything. So see your healing journey as for what it is. It's sacred. It really is sacred. And I know that we want to get through these uncomfortable emotions and circumstances as fast as we can, but savor it. Slow down. Enjoy all of this, you guys, because life really is like a snap of the fingers. It really is. And your healing journey is here to help others as well. Because what you heal in yourself, you're helping heal within the collective field. And that can, that might make you feel a little better in a sense. That what you're doing is actually helping contribute to the whole. Because you're one with the whole. We're all connected. So what you do in your daily life, in your private life, to better yourself, you're helping better the whole collective and all of creation. Now that's mind-blowing. That's how important you are. That's how needed you are. And that's how loved you are. Because without you, we could not be complete. Without you, the fabric of the whole would be incomplete. You are one thread that makes up this quilt. So I thank you, I love you, and I bless you. And remember, those negative emotions, it's okay. Nothing's out there to get you. Everything is just fragments of consciousness, and we're just bringing it back into wholeness, okay? So, entities, darkness, dark aliens, all this kind of stuff, it's just fragments of consciousness. There's only God, there's only light. When you declare that you are God, that you are light, and that you are sovereign and a master, that darkness dispels, okay? Because it's only fragments. That's all it is. We're just bringing it back into wholeness. That's it, guys. That's it. So I love you. I thank you again. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and check out the link for Matt Kahn's work. He's amazing. He's beautiful, and he really helped me accelerate my journey. So if it resonates, check him out. If not, no big deal. So I love you guys. Take care. Well, I gotta take my glove off. It's not turning up. Bye, guys.